A young child was playing outside when he accidentally disturbed a wasp's nest. Immediately, he was stung on his bottom lip and swelling occurred. Later on, his neck turned red, the swelling went up into his cheeks, into his eyes, turning them a reddish purple color. This child was given Benadryl to prevent even worse reactions or possibly death. If this child had not been given Benadryl, then, like I said, he could have died. Benadryl is made from a petrocarbon, and petrocarbons are formed from carbons, which are formed from petroleum, one of the three main types of fossil fuels. The modern use of fossil fuels in medicines, such as antibiotics, antihistamines, cough syrup, and of course Benadryl, saves lives. Fossil fuels have been used all the way back into ancient Sumerian and Phoenician times. They were used as pitch, which prolonged fires and kept them warm. Oil, coal, and natural gas, the three main forms of fossil fuels, have positive impacts on the 21st century because they are cheap, reliable, provide for most of the world's energy demand, are easy to extract, and increase global trading and commerce.
Fossil fuels are buried deposits of coal, oil, and natural gas. They were formed from organisms that lived millions of years ago. Heat and pressure have caused chemical reactions that have turned these organisms into solids, liquids, and gases. When burned, they produce energy. Fossil fuels were first discovered in the early 1700s, but were not used on a large scale until the Industrial Revolution. Fossil fuels provide energy for our homes, vehicles, and many industrial processes.
Fossil fuels are non-renewable, which means they will run out eventually. The U.S. gets most of its oil from foreign countries like Saudi Arabia. Fossil fuels also lead to many health issues, including cancer and asthma.
With the current and ever-growing energy demands of the world, a reliable energy source is imperative. Coal, one of the top three major fossil fuels, it has a steady energy output and production, because of which it is used to power homes worldwide. According to the Energy Information Agency, a United States government agency that is designed to research and compile statistics on energy sources, 82% of the world's energy demand is fed by fossil fuels. If fossil fuels were to suddenly be unavailable, this would lead to an insufficient energy supply at a very high cost, leading to widespread blackouts, inability to use cars, planes, and electronics used every single day. But thanks to fossil fuels having a constant and steady energy output and production, meaning they are reliable, they can do this.
Americans use an average of 18.9 million barrels of oil a day. That oil took over 300 billion years to form. Originally, there was 4 trillion barrels of oil and half has already been extracted. At the current rate of oil usage, we will be out in approximately 40 years. Fossil fuels are non-renewable, meaning that we will eventually run out. We are consuming them much faster than they are being created. Natural gas is expected to last approximately 60 more years and coal only 40 to 50. The use of fossil fuels is expected to increase 41% between now and 2020, and at the current rate of fossil fuel usage, we will be out by the year 2088. Other possible energy sources are renewable, for example, wind and solar power. The United States should focus on shifting the reliability of non-renewable sources to more renewable sources to prevent the Earth from running out of fossil fuels.
The worldwide use of fossil fuels is crucial in our daily lives because they are cheap and easy to extract. An article titled Facts About Fossil Fuels lets us know that new techniques of locating and extracting fossil fuels are making it easier and cheaper to produce them. Oil is now cheaper than it has ever been to extract. The Institute for Energy Research also tells us that an affordable, reliable energy source is crucial to meet the demands of the economy today. Today, 2.8 billion people worldwide make less than $2 per day. If fossil fuels were not cheap enough to extract and locate, then we would not be able to meet the dire economic demands of the world.
Last year, the U.S. got 40% of its oil from the Middle East alone. This is just one aspect of our dependence on foreign nations for our supply of fossil fuels. Our dependence gives foreign nations an aspect of control over the U.S. It gives them the power to regulate oil and gas prices. This could either help or hurt our global economy. Another negative aspect on fossil fuels is that it causes us to join international conflicts that we may not normally join, such as the Iraq War. The Iraq War was a bloody conflict that started in 2003 and lasted until 2011. We joined the war for many reasons, one of which is so we could keep our supply of fossil fuels coming. In conclusion, the U.S. does not produce enough fossil fuels to be self-sufficient.
Anaphylactic shock, which is a severe allergic reaction, claims around 1,500 lives a year. Fossil fuels greatly help to reduce this number. Fossil fuels are used to create petrocarbons, which are then used to help create antihistamines such as Benadryl, which helps save lives. Fossil fuels are also used in major procedures. They help to make these procedures more affordable for families who couldn't originally afford them. Without fossil fuels, the number of deaths per year caused by anaphylactic shock would stay the same or possibly increase.
Many deaths every year can be traced back to the use of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels and the power plants that they use many harmful ingredients that can lead to acid rain pollution, multiple forms of cancer, and health problems such as asthma. 300,000 people die every year from the pollution fossil fuels create alone. About 30% of cancers are thought to be traced back to pollution. Skin cancer is one form. With holes being formed in the ozone layer from fossil fuel pollution, UV rays are stronger in some places and can be more harmful when the proper precautions are not taken. But fossil fuels not only harm humans, but animals too. Over 50 oil spills have happened in the United States alone since the early 1900s. Oil spills can lead to animals not being able to fly, losing their fur, and being ingested by animals who clean themselves. On average, fossil fuels lead to more deaths than nuclear power.
Without fossil fuels, where would the world be? There would be an insufficient energy supply at a very high cost. Thankfully, fossil fuels are able to provide more than enough energy to supply the world, and they are very cost effective. They also have the added benefit of allowing the creation of petrocarbons, which may be used in medicines and can save lives. With fossil fuels, we are able not only to make the lives of children, infants, and adults easier, we are also able to save their lives in the event of a medical emergency.
In conclusion, fossil fuels are non-renewable, meaning that we will eventually run out. We are expected to completely run out of fossil fuels by the year 2088. Since fossil fuels are non-renewable, we rely on other foreign countries to supply them. For example, the United States relies on Saudi Arabia to supply a majority of our oil supply. Another negative aspect of fossil fuels is that they cause many health issues, including asthma and multiple forms of cancer. The negative aspects of fossil fuels are more powerful than the positive aspects because they affect our health and economy in significantly negative ways.
I had one question about the cost of, is the price of oil cheaper than ever, or the price of oil extraction?
The price of oil is cheaper than ever.
All right, very good.